Among Ukrainian forces, spirits are high. In a matter of days, they've retaken thousands of square kilometres of occupied territory, more land than Russian forces have captured in all their operations since April.
And what's been revealing about this Ukrainian attack is that it's been skillfully conducted. They've made good use of the weapons that the West has provided, and they have moved with speed and disciplined aggression. However, what's almost more revealing is how fragile the Russian resistance has been. In many cases, after really quite light fighting, the Russians have removed themselves from the battlefield at pace. And this is why the Ukrainians have captured more ground than they imagined. However, and it is a big however, we need to recognize that the element of surprise is now gone. We can see Russia moving troops and other resources to bolster their front line in the north. And it remains to be seen whether Ukraine has another echelon of forces with which to continue the attack.
The focus of the offensive was the area around Kharkiv. On this map, the blue area shows the territory retaken by Ukraine. In places, they pushed the Russians back 70 kilometres. In total, 3,000 square kilometres was liberated in just 5 days, an area double the size of Greater London. Among the areas freed, the key city of Izium and Balaklia, where troops raised their flag in victory.
So in the north, around Kharkiv, where Russia has essentially ceded the Kharkiv Oblast, and I think they're acknowledging that, it may be that Ukraine can hold this territory because Russia chooses not to fight for it. Russia has much bigger interests in the Donbass and further south around, really from Mariupol to Kherson. What I think is a more telling battle is in the south around Kherson, which really does matter in military and strategic terms. And there the fight is going slower. The Ukrainians are on the offensive, making progress in the rural areas, but they've not yet even begun rightly, actually, to fight for the city. They're busy trying to cut the Russians off on the west bank of the Dnieper River.
So what next? Well, both sides now face their first winter at war, a prospect the general believes that could actually work in Ukraine's favour.
We'd expect the tempo to reduce. And actually, we should see the winter as an opportunity for Ukraine to build much bigger, more effective forces that are equipped by the West with more training, stronger logistics, greater medical capacity, so that when the weather improves and supports maneuver more easily in the spring, summer, they are poised with an offensive force Russia genuinely can't deal with.
But that brings new fears. With its back to the wall, where does Moscow go militarily? General Barrons has an ominous warning.
The thing we should be very concerned about and watchful of is if the Ukrainians are as successful as we hope they are, and Russia feels that it is in existential peril of a grand strategic loss, then we will have to deal with the spectre of Russia dipping into its weapons of mass destruction, whether that's chemical or nuclear. For many in the Russian military, this would be the thing you do routinely when faced with significant defeat. The effects of those weapons in a military sense will be confined to the immediate area in Ukraine. So this is not the same as a intercontinental exchange of weapons that essentially destroy the planet. But we do have to expect it and have worked out in advance how we'll deal with the threat of tactical nuclear weapons or the use of chemical weapons. And surely that would mean that Russia would be cast into the outer darkness of our world for a generation.
For Ukraine, the challenge now is holding these liberated areas, and with their own supply lines now stretched, the danger is they could be encircled as the Russians bring up reinforcements. President Putin has already sought retribution, sacking a top general. The question is how far he'll go to sustain this special military operation. Simon Newton, Forces News. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.